So here we go. Welcome to all of you again. Great to be with you. So next stream will be on Thursday. Thursday will be the 13th of June, and that will be at 3:30. So we were doing this article about analog machines, as in vinyl records and cameras that take that use real film rather than digital film, and synthesizers that make that you have to you have to play them to make the sounds. So here goes. Hi Oksana, lovely to see you. And elsewhere, interest in Analogue has been sustained, continued, upheld, extended across a range of categories, from the growth of board games to letter writing and the resilience of physical books. Synthesis in chemistry, yes. Great to have you, Marianne. Yeah. So, Vitali goes for sustained. Hi, Polly. Polly goes for sustained. Human goes for sustained. Great to see you, Rainyard. Yeah. Sustained for Oksana. Sustained for Julia. Okay. So elsewhere, interest in Analogue has been, we've got sustained from Manisco as well. So here, continued. I would say has continued, not has been continued. Yeah? Sustained, suspended. If you say suspended across a range, you see, I'm thinking, for me, with the word suspended gives me the idea of it's been stopped. Yeah? As in, you've been suspended from school. Has been upheld. Okay, people are doing it, but normally, Oksana, upheld gives the idea of to uphold a decision. So I made a decision and my boss upheld, ratified my decision. And I think really that's the idea of has been upheld. Yeah, I think it's a different meaning. Okay, here, sustained, to be kept up. Mariam's gone for extended. Has been extended. Okay, across a range of categories. If you use extended, this means that there is a bigger range of things. I think extended in that across a range of categories. I think I'm actually going to accept extended from Mariam, because extended would say the range is getting bigger. And here they're talking about board games, letter writing and physical books. But here, to be kept up, has been sustained across. Yeah, so sustained. Here it's talking about continued, to be kept up. You uphold a tradition. I quite like upholding a tradition. Has been sustained. It continues to in different areas. Although I'm going to accept extended as well. Okay, so members of the US Academy of Motion Picture Arts and scientists are also Analogue fans, deciding, adjudicating, measuring, judging by the best cinematography nominees in the 2024 Oscars. Okay, so we're starting to get some answers. Deciding by, adjudicating by, measuring by, judging by. Okay, so we've got judging for Vitaly and Oksana and Julia and Polly and Nad and Human. Hi there, Burb. Lovely to have you. Good timing. Okay, so judging by for believe. Here. Reinforced by. Okay, I think you're going to need more words, Patricia. I think this concept is reinforced by. Deciding by. It's just judging by sounds so much better. So judging for Renyard and Manisco and Burb. Okay, let's see. Judging by. You're using this as a yardstick, as something to measure it by. Okay, reinforced. Yes, for the previous one. Yes, Patricia. Okay, so can you use accessing by? No. Let's see. Estimating by, I might say. Judged by. Yes, you could say judged by, Renyard. Judging by, definitely, Patricia. Okay, so judging by is definitely judging by. Deciding. Adjudicating. If you adjudicate, so you adjudicate the winner. This person is the winner. That's adjudication. If the best nominees are anything to go by, yes. Measuring by, judging by, very definitely. Okay, and continue. Evaluating by, yes, I think that's the idea, Mariam. Whoops. While movies shot on film remain a small balance, proportion, ratio, rate of film releases overall. 4 out of the 5 cinematography nominees were shot on Kodak movie film stock. Okay, so adjudicator in John Wick. Okay, so proportion for Vitaly, proportion for Ozvin, proportion for Oksana, a small proportion for Burb, a proportion for Nan. Julia goes for proportion, so does Renyard. Human for proportion, a percentage, absolutely, Polly. A small drop. You're going to need more. A small drop in the ocean, Oswin. While movies shot on film remain a drop in the ocean of film releases overall. Okay. A small ratio, no. Let's see, the ratio of one thing to another. Remain a small amount. Yes, Oksana. A small proportion of releases overall. A balance, no. A small rate, it's a small proportion of those shot. Okay, and there we go. Sorry to take time to get that right. A small proportion, a small chunk, yes, chunk for Vitaly. A small sector, a small section of, yes. I think probably section better than sector, but yes. Although digital filmmaking has some clear advantages over analog, especially when it comes to post-production and distribution, the most common mistake is to suggest it's more cost-effective, cost-competent, cost-dynamic, cost-worthy. So we've got cost-effective from Vitaly and Polly, cost-effective from Oksana, cost-effective from Human, cost-competent for Nad. Okay, I think if competent is talking about if something is able to do its job. If you are a competent speaker of English, speaks English well, and I wouldn't say cost competent. So he's very competent at his job. He's very competent at what he does. So competent is saying that a person is able to do something. Cost effective for Julia. Cost effective for Reynard. Cost worthy. I'm wondering about this segment. Okay, segment for the previous one, Vitaly. Yes. Cost worthy. It's more cost worthy. No, let's see. I wouldn't use cost worthy. Cost effective for verb, yes. Wolf, that's a very difficult one, Human. Generally for adjectives and nouns. I'm looking at this cost worthy. Is cost effective? Cost worthy. I wouldn't say cost worthy. Cost effective for Patricia. Cost effective for Mariam. It's more cost effective for Witness. It's more effective cost wise from Oksana. Adequate, competent. Notice they're not synonyms because Human competent talks about a person's ability. Whereas adequate can talk about a thing. A thing is adequate for a job. But a person is competent. Competent is able to do their job. More trustworthy. Trustworthy, yes. Cost effective's the right collocation. Absolutely, Julia. Cost effective. Effective or productive in relation to its cost. Okay, about hyphens. Whoa. Okay, so cost effective, very definitely. It's cost effective. The relation between the cost and how good it is at that is the best. Okay, I'll think about it, Human. Connection. In 2018, Kodak's then global marketing director, Stephen Overman, discussed with us in connection, in correlation, in bearing, in relation to Oppenheimer's director, Christopher Nolan, who is a well-known champion of shooting on film. So Oksana said in connection, Vitaly's gone in relation, Ozvin in relation, Julia has gone for in relation, Renyard in relation, Polly for in relation, Human in relation to. Cost viable, yes, Patricia. In relation to. So I was thinking about this in connection with. You could say in connection to, but I think it's more normal to say in connection with. With us, in connection to. I'd be happier with it in connection with. I can't say connection is wrong. A correlation is a relationship between two things. I don't know. X equals 1 over Y. That's an inverse correlation. So in connection to, I think is acceptable. In correlation to. So in correlation, let's see, if the days get longer, the days get warmer. There is a correlation, a link, a relationship between the two. Okay, I say in connection or in relation to, but I prefer in relation to. It works though, Oksana. I would certainly accept it. In connection to, in relation to. I think both of them. Okay, and it's more likely to be with. It could. In connection with is a more normal pattern, but you could say in connection to. Yes. Okay. One of the big legends, stories, myths, fables is that it's more expensive than digital. But that's not really true if you're a disciplined filmmaker. Okay, so we've got myths for Osvin, we've got myths for Polly and Human, we've got myths for Oksana and Burb, myths for Renyard and Julia and Vitali and Nad, and a myth for Mariam as well. Fable says Manisco, myth says Patricia. Okay, let's see. In this, the idea is this is something that people say, but it's not true. It's something people generally believe, but it's not true. Myths. Myths for Manisco and Patricia. In correlation, a correlation, but I wouldn't even say in correlation. I would say, Julia, there is a correlation between A and B. A fable is a story, normally with animals, that has a moral ending, particularly Aesop, Mariam. I don't know, for example, there's a dog that's got a bone and it's crossing a river and it looks down and it looks in the water and it sees in the water a dog that's got another dog with an even bigger bone. So the dog jumps into the water to get the bigger bone, but there's no dog because this is its reflection. And the moral is don't be greedy, and that is a fable. Animal Farm's a good fable. I love it. One of my favourite books. There is a correlation. Good, Julia. Apocryphal story. An apocryphal story. A myth. That would work very nicely. Yes. Okay, one of the big myths. A myth is something that people believe is true, but it's not. Smith, myth. Yes, it's the same, Nad. Absolutely. Myth, Smith. Smiths. Yes, definitely, Nad. Okay, so let's go on. Greek mythology, yes, but it's to do with an animal, and it's got animals, and it's got moral stories. Okay, that's so when a filmmaker's shooting ratios are off the registers, charts, graphs, tables, a lot of post-production needs to be done. Okay, this is, I guess, the amount that the filmmaker films in relation to the amount that this person actually uses. So yes, definitely. Oksana goes for off the chart. So does Bourbon and Vitaly and Polly. Off the charts for Gaming-tastic. Off the charts for Human and Rainyard. Off the charts for Julia and Mariam. It's an expression, yeah, something is off the charts. It's just so high that it's a huge amount. So yeah, when these are off the charts, there is the relation between them is so big that it's not even in the documentation because the numbers are so big. A register is normally a list of people allowed to do something. Let's see, if graph was singular, yes. Off the tables, no, it's off the chart. Off the scale. I quite like Vitaly's off the scale. So, off the charts. But a film like Dunkirk actually did not shoot that high a volume of film because Chris Nolan is such a disciplined filmmaker. He knows exactly what he wants to take, trap, capture, hold in the shot. Shooting film by definition requires more discipline. So, good. We've got capture for Vitaly, capture for Oksana, capture for Gaming-tastic and Human. And capture for Osvin, capture for Burb, capture for Julia, capture for Patricia, yay! Capture for Mariam and for Rainyard. So yes, what you capture in your shot, want to grasp. Capture, snap, shoot, take. Okay. Take also what he wants to take in the shot. But you see, to take in the shot. I guess take would work, but for me, take is more like a photograph. Whereas here, take, this is a scene. And I think he wants to take into a high volume of film. A large amount of film. So let's see, if I'm making a film, I could make a scene that lasts 5 minutes and I could shoot 1 hour of film to make that 5-minute scene. Or I could film 100 hours of film to make that 5-minute scene. And that's talking about the volume of film, the amount of film that you actually film compared to the amount that goes into the final product. Okay, so to capture, very definitely. To capture it in the shot. And again. Overman also noted that in sectors such as fashion, commercial photographers using film are earning more than those who use digital, largely because they are able to stand out in a market soaked, drenched, saturated, waterlogged with technically great work. You capture the essence of a person in a photo, definitely, Patricia, definitely. Okay, so waterlogged is full of water, particularly for a piece of ground. If it rains and rains and rains, the ground absorbs more and more water, and then you can't play cricket on it, or you can't play football on it because it's absorbed so much water. The ground is waterlogged. The ground is full of water. So let's see, we've got saturated for Vitali for Ozvin. We've got saturated for Oksana and Human. Saturated for Julia. Waterlogged for Iman. Saturated for Gaming. Saturated for Patricia. Soaked for Mariam. No, waterlogged is not an idiom. It's a piece of vocabulary. Saturated with for Lionheart. Soaked in. Well done, Mariam. Soaked in. Mariam goes for saturated. I soaked some lentils. I soaked some chickpeas as well to make my hummus, Polly. Okay, all of these words mean full of water, but it's saturated. Saturated is the one that we use metaphorically. If the market is saturated, there is more good work than can be used. Okay, so it's saturated. Let's see. The ground is waterlogged, is saturated with water, is soaked with water, is drenched with water. Yes, yes. We're technically talking about technique. I soak up all the teaching. That's very good. Okay, hummus from Arab countries. I love it. If a football pitch is waterlogged, the match is postponed. Absolutely. I was drenched because it was raining and I didn't have an umbrella. I was soaked to the skin because I didn't have this umbrella. So, saturated. It's to do with dissolving things in a solvent. And you can't get any more into the market. Okay. And continue. He said luxury brands such as Gucci are particularly eager, keen, sharp, anxious on using film photography, as this gives their promotional material a different look. Hey. Rain, cats and dogs outside and I was drenched. Yes, Julia. I was soaked as well. So, Oksana goes for keen, so does Polly, so does Vitali. Eager to do, says Polly. Keen on, says Burb. I was eager to use, Ozvin. Eager to use, Nad. Human goes keen on. I was anxious about using. I would say anxious to use as well, Polly, but yes. Keen for Mariam. I was big on using. Good, Vitali. Keen on using. Eager to use. Keen on using. So, eager to use. Anxious to use. Sharp definitely doesn't work. Keen on using. Yes, definitely. Okay, so keen on using, definitely. Well done, Patricia. And many of the photo walks Michael has been on end in a pub with arguments over the relative, related, rational, kindred merits of digital and film. Keen, absolutely, Lionheart. So, many of the photo walks Michael has been on end in a pub with arguments over the relative, related, relational, kindred merits of digital and film. So, saturation in colour too. Yes, Patricia. I think you've been playing with saturation and things like that recently. That's very good. Okay. So we've got relative merits for Oksana, relative for Vitali, relative merits for Human, relative for Julia, relative for Renyard, relative for Patricia, relative for Lionheart, relative merits for Marianne. Kindred. Kindred is talking about members of the same family. Kindred is like cousins. A kindred spirit, somebody who feels in the same way. It's from the word kin, which talks about your family. So kindred talks. A kindred spirit is somebody who feels the same way that you do about something. So it's over the relative merits, very definitely. Okay, and one more, and this will be the last one for today. Whoa. After one such walk, James, a former teacher of photography, commented on a film photograph of a fox visiting a backyard late at night to feed on nuts. When it was allowed, conceded, consented, sanctioned that digital probably was better for wildlife photography, James cut in. Kindred can also mean in-kind, related. Books on kindred subjects. Good, Vitali, thank you. Smash the like. I play with lots of things. That's how I get the work done. That's very good, Patricia. So, Oksana says conceded. Okay, this is the last one for today. Patricia says conceded. Conceded for Human, conceded for Mariam, consented for Mariam, sanctioned for Vitali, allowed for Nad, conceded for Julia, conceded for Mariam, conceded or allowed for Burb. Conceded for Eugenie. Hi, Eugenie. Conceded for Renyard. Sanction is a contronym, yes. I sanctioned the sanctions. Conceded for Polly. Okay, when it was allowed, definitely not allowed. Allowed is talking about permitted. Consented. This is also talking about giving permission. When it was sanctioned, that was better. No, when it was conceded, when people agreed that. Okay, when it was conceded, I concede that you are right. Maybe some people are against it, but they concede the fact. They agree with this when it was conceded. To concede. So a lot of the things that you say are wrong, but I will concede that you are correct about this point. So, because notice this is talking about the wonders of analog photography. But these people have conceded, they admit they admit that digital photography is better for wildlife. Finally and not really willingly agree. I love it, Oksana. Thank you. Acquiesce. Yes, Renyard. They acquiesce to the truth. Yeah, I got a cold again. So it's been a pleasure. To consent is to is to give permission. My dad consented to lend me his car. To give consent, to agree to do something, to allow, to give. I will give you permission. Consent is like permission. Permission to do something. Okay, so enough for today. Let me put this here, and it's been great having you all. So next stream will be on Thursday, which is going to be the 13th of June at 3:30 p.m. UK time. Informed consent is a must in treatment. Yes, admittedly, I like it, Vitali. So take care, all of you. It's been great seeing you again. And let's see. So I need to. So thank you to Burb and Eugenie. Thank you to Lionheart and Human. Thank you to Julia and Manisco. Thank you to Mariam and Nad. Thank you to Oksana and Patricia and Polly. Thank you to PSL. Thank you to Renyard. Thank you to Slipknot. And thank you to Vitali. Hey, Slipknot, lovely to have you. So, thank you, Mariam. It's lovely to have you. So, take care, and I hope to see you all on Thursday. So, bye.